today?
Well, yeah, Jax actually bit my cousin who came down from Canada a couple of days ago. So he bit him and then he did it again, and he's been lunging at him every time he sees him. So I'm hoping that can get solved. And he just needs like basic training, some sits, sitting down, laying down, coming, and then also some work on the leash because he'll pull when he sees other dogs. And he gets pretty wild sometimes, so I'd like all that to be like worked with.
Wonderful. Okay. Jack.
Okay, sit. We're going to go inside the house. Always have Jack sit at the front door. We're going to go in, then I'm going to come out to show you how we come out as well. He sits, he waits. You step through first to accentuate the fact that this is your doorway, your boundary. Of course, he's looking at the people in the yard right now, and he's a little distracted, but he waits until you come back. Never call him through to you. You'll teach him to break out of a sit-stay and rush in and out of the front door. So obviously, he waits. You come back and get him. Okay, he only walks through with you. See how slowly he's walking through? Okay, buddy, come on. And then here, we're just going to show you how we would take him out. And I always start with the door closed. So I'm going to say sit. And then I'm going to open the door after he's already sitting because it's harder for the dog to stay seated as the door opens. So we always practice it that way to make sure that the sit is as solid as possible. We step out. He waits till we come back to get him, never chasing you through that door. He's always waiting to walk through with you. Okay, just gentle but firm little. I just tapped him a little because he seemed like he was going to rush ahead. I just tapped him like that. And see, that's what we're looking for. And then if you're by yourself, you have to do your little turn into him to close the door and then sit. If you're taking him for a walk, you continue on out onto the street, or if you're going to release him in an enclosed yard where he's safe, pat his chest and say, go, and then he's free. So we walk up to the person that we want to greet, and it's best to do it on neutral territory, or it's more neutral out here in the yard than it is in your house, that's for sure. So we always do it in a more open area, more neutral area, so that he's not protected. He's going to be protective of a new person in the house. So you always do it outside, and then once he has a good association with that person, then you come inside together. Go. So I handed him the treat, I sent him over, come, call him back to come. Good. See how I'm stepping into him? And you can even do this little, come on buddy, this little circle, sit. At the end of that circle, you have them sit. Whenever you step into him, it's a very subtle but very dominant move. It's gentle but firm. You can also practice your sit stays while he's waiting to go over and get the treat. All of this just helps him develop a higher level of focus because he has to think to do all this stuff. The more he thinks, the calmer he's going to get over time. The more we insist that he focus for a little bit longer before he's released. Go. It's good for his brain. Come. Good. And then we release him out of those sit stays and do all this work with him. It changes him 24/7 because, okay, he just gets calmer because he's been taught how to think, and there's so much more structure in his life. And even if you don't have a visitor coming over, you should practice this routine with him every day with members of your family so that when somebody comes over, you just plug that person in, do it in the same spot. Pick say a place in your driveway in front of your house or your sidewalk in front of your house, and do it there every time. And then when you have somebody that he doesn't know come over, do it in the same spot. You just plug the new person into that place, have people from the family stand on either side of him, have that person have a piece of steak or chicken breast, and he's going to know that you handed something good to that person, and then send him over, go say hi, he gets that treat from that guy, that person, come, you call him back to you, good, and that's how you do it. And then when you're going to go in the house with a new person, it would be one last time, it would be you hand him a big pile of whatever treat you're using, high value reward always, something that he's really crazy about with a new person because he has an issue with new people coming to your house. And he goes in first, and inside you do the same thing. He's already inside, and I haven't seen your house, but if you have a living room, some fairly large room that's close to the front door, or it could even be a hallway, but just inside, and then send him to that person one last time. But he goes in first. He doesn't walk behind you because that could intimidate him, because he's unsure of new people. So never have that person follow us into the house. He's already in. He's like this with the pile of treats. You come through the door after that. You send him to that person, call him to come, do the same thing on the inside. And then for the first couple of months that you're doing this, because of his issues of people coming into your house, I would end on that. End on him receiving a giant gift from this new person in your house and feeling pretty good about it. Put him away in his crate in the other room with his favorite bone until that person leaves, because you want to always end those interactions, especially in the beginning. You want to end them while they're going really well. You don't want to spend a lot of time there, because if you spend a lot of time hanging out with that person, especially the first few interactions like that, he's likely to start getting stressed out again, and you're going to be busy talking to your guests or doing other things, and he's just going to be hanging out, and he's going to start thinking and freaking out like he did before. And we don't want that. So always end on a success. And right after he received that great gift from that new person, put him away. He loves his crate. Put him away in his crate in the back room behind a closed door. Give him his favorite bone to chew on. It's always a positive association going into that crate. And we're going to show you that in the next clip anyway with the crate. Sit. You have him sit. And of course, we're doing this out in the yard, but this crate is actually in the house, but it's just better light here to do this filming. So he sits, you open the door, you pat his chest, go. He goes in, he turns around, he gets a treat every time. That's why he loves to go in. This is what happens every time. And you can take off his little training collar. And we have this little miniature prong collar on him, which has helped a lot with his pulling. As you know, he used to pull a lot, but it'll just help you control him better. And it's not for corrections, it's not to cause pain. You see how I'm using it on him. I'm just doing little taps. You're not supposed to cause pain using this, but the beauty of this is that it closes with the same pressure all the way around the back of the neck and the front, instead of regular collars, which are all right there. And for a dog that pulls, just is going to help you manage him much easier than just with a regular collar. But that's why I'm using this prong collar. You take it off when he's in there, especially overnight, and you hang it there, hang it on the door like that so it doesn't get tangled up in itself. And then when you're going to take him out, and by the way, here, he's been sleeping overnight in his crate. Put a nice blanket in there, towels, whatever you want, make him comfortable. He eats his meals in there, so always bring his food to him in there. This door is always closed. You always close it. It's closed when he's in, and it's closed when he's out. If it's open, he's going to want to go in there, but then you squander your greatest power of controlling the boundary. It's all about controlling the entrance to his den, his favorite place in the world. The reason it's his favorite place in the world is because he eats in there. Every time we send him in, he gets a treat before we close the door. Every time we go to get him, he gets a treat before we bring him out. He gets his bones and chewies in there, so everything positive good in there. And you put him in there multiple times a day whenever you have a chance. There's feeding time. When he comes back to you, I'd recommend you have him sleep in there for a while too, just because that's what we're doing here, and it's going well, and it really helps just change the dynamics of his household experience with you, and there's a lot more structure involved in using the crate, and you need that in your household, because right now he thinks that's his place, and he tries to chase away anybody that he doesn't know out of there. And also, it's a way to manage him so that he has a happy, safe place to go when you have visitors. And this always goes in a back room somewhere, maybe somebody's bedroom, where you can close the door. And whenever you have visitors, and even if you don't do the greeting routine, you put him in there before they arrive, and then you give him his bones and chewies, and he's happy in there. He can hear those visitors, but he's associating them with getting his favorite bones in there. Maybe pick out a couple of things that you know he really loves, and only give those things to him when you have a visitor, which he's going to hear in the other part of the house, but he's going to be okay with it, much more okay than he is now. So that's how you use the crate. When you're going to take him out, you attach the leash to the prong collar first. That's the easier way to do it, and it's just a funny looking buckle that you attach the leash to. There's a round spacer here, just like a ring here, that you're not going to touch because it's just a spacer, and it should look like this. So make sure that it's not twisted. And it's like this. You're going to reach in. The leash is already attached. And we always do a treat first. Good boy. Whenever your hands are coming in there, he always gets a gift first. He's munching on that. I reach in, I hook on that collar. It's very easy to hook on to. The collar, the prong collar goes right underneath his ears, so it's above the other collars. The collar with his tags and whatever else you might have on there, that's below. So the prong collar is right there, right beneath his ears. It's the highest one up. And so now it's attached, and I'm going to say, okay, catch your leg and say, okay, he's going to come out. I'm going to step into him like that, come back, close his door. Remember, you're always closing this. And this solid plastic crate is the best kind to get. It's got a solid wall, so it's kind of private. You want to simulate the den because dogs are naturally den animals. So a wire cage is not as good. Also, he might pull, like if you covered the cage with blankets or something or sheets, he might pull it through the wire anyway. But I would highly recommend getting one of these. It's just easier for so many different reasons. Anyway, this plastic crate is what you should get. Okay, come on, buddy, let's go. Sit. When you're doing this little mat exercise, you always want to have the mat, put the mat down somewhere, wherever you're going to do the exercise, and then go get him, because if you put it down and he's loose, he's going to want to go hang out on it. And this is a very exclusive place. He only gets to go on and play this game. In his mind, it's a game. He doesn't even know he's being trained, but he only gets to go there with your permission. So I bring him up here, he's on a leash, have him sit in front of it, and if he tries to go, you can give him a little tap and say no, but he needs to wait until you pat his chest. We have some bugs out here today, so that's what he's after. So you're never holding it tight, you're never restraining him, because that's not dog training. That's just, holding him back, which anybody could do. So it's loose like that. With your right hand, you're gonna pat his chest and say, go to your mat, and then you're gonna say down. Make sure he goes down straight on the mat. The most you'll have to do if he ignores your command is just kind of do that with your left foot. But as you can see, he's already going there. And then, good. You reward him by putting these rewards on the mat, and then he waits until you withdraw and he takes it off the mat. So it's like this. So I'm just holding it like that. Little piece of Natural Balance sausage that we're using for training treats. Yeah, and that time you made a mistake, you touched my hand. So this is the way I want you to do it. Nope. Make sure he really waits. Good. See how that was? I paused a good 1 or 2 seconds there. I'm going to pause a little bit longer this time. So I bend over like that. No. If he touches your hand, you pull back and say no. Good. See how he really waited? You see how calm I am and the way I'm moving? I'm not throwing food down. I'm not nervous. I'm not going like this and being all weird and kind of creeping up on him like that. I'm just being normal, taking a treat out of my pouch here, and down like this. Good. Say good as he takes it. Okay? So the delivery of the reward is super important. So once you have that down and he stays down, he's not popping up on you, you can start just doing basic stuff like just basic stay, where he accepts you walking around both ways. And I usually do this about 5 minutes a day with him. He's only been here for about 2 weeks, so he didn't go through the whole program, but he's pretty good for 2 weeks. See how he's doing this? No. And I'm just going to gently pull him this way. And if that's not working, I'm going to take a treat. He's never done this before. He might be showing off for the camera. I'm going to take this treat. I'm going to lower him back onto his elbows, back to where he was. No. No. Good. So if that happens to you, the treat works better than this part, obviously. It's funny, they're always going to do something different in a different situation, and it's probably because we have a camera person standing there pointing that thing at us, and a lot of the dogs are a little bit different when we're filming the videos, or little things come up, but that's good to show you, because he may do that with you at home. So you saw how I did that. Good. So I just did a little bit of that walk around downstay. If you are in an enclosed yard or in your house, you can drop the leash and do wider circles. We're working on a better downstay now that he's got this exercise. We just keep practicing this downstay and do harder and harder things for him to handle, like walking farther away. Good. This is always a hard thing for dogs, and I think he's going to make a mistake when I do this, so I'm going to show you what to do if he makes a mistake. So most dogs come here, and when I pull on the leash, they're always going to come to me because that's what their owners have been doing. So, wow, but he's learned his lessons well. He gets big reward for that. Good. Usually a dog will get up and come towards me. I have to say no. I have to put them back. So let me try to do something that will make him make a mistake. I'm going to go out these double gates here and disappear onto the street and just leave him alone in the yard and see what happens. So show where I'm going to go and then show him. So if you're ever going to do something that's difficult for him to handle, it's okay to remind him, down. Let's see if he pops up. If he does, then I'll show you how to deal with a mistake. Go out this gate here, disappear. I can't see what's going on in there, so I'm going to come back, see if he got up. Oh well, he's really good. Maybe if I walk past him and I go to that gate, so show that gate. I walk over here, way back here behind him, kind of walk over here out of sight behind the house, come back. Do you show where I went? So that was really good. So that's a good downstay. In 2 weeks, he learned this downstay. That's great. So he gets a big double reward, a couple of big pieces. If he does something exceptional and doesn't make a mistake, give him a big reward. Good. Always doing it the same way though, no matter what happens, make sure that it's a calm delivery of the reward, just the way you've seen me do it. That's what makes him calmer and calmer. Every time you release him out of this little mat exercise, 5 minutes a day, he'll be just a little bit more calm. He'll be able to handle stress just a little bit better every day because you're teaching him how to focus and think. I'm going to release him and we'll pretend that he made a mistake and I'll show you what to do. So let's say you did something, he pops up, you come back and he's walking around or whatever. Okay. So to get him off the mat when he's done it perfectly like this, it's okay. You walk him off the mat and you say sit and you release him to be free, go, like that, okay? But let's pretend that he made a mistake right now. Let's say he popped up when I was outside. I'd come back in, he'd be standing here running around. I'd say no. One thing, you say no. And you step into him, get the leash, step into him, and just, come on, let's go, buddy. Gently but firmly, just kind of do a couple left circles like that. Lead him back on the mat and just put him back. Don't say down again, you already said it once. We never repeat a command, as you can see through all the videos. You just say it once, and 5 minutes ago I said DOWN, and that needs to hold. So if you set the bar really high, you're going to have something really good over time. So if he makes a mistake in the middle of your exercise, you say no, come back, stay calm, put him back, and practice it again until he gets it right. If it's too much for him, whatever you're doing, maybe you need to back off, make it way easier so he can end on a success, and gradually work your way up to doing the full thing that you did before so that you can have a success. If he's always making a mistake, no. If he's always making a mistake, whatever you're trying is a little bit good, too much, too soon for him. So just always end on a success, good. And you saw how he went on his side again, and I lured him back to be on his elbows. Now we're going to release him for good here, finish the exercise. Okay. Have him sit, and then go, and we're done. Sit. Good. See how he sat immediately? He looked up at me, eye contact. I put the reward right here, straight down, good, as he took it. So make sure you're not doing this, and he's eating out of the hand that comes out of the sky, somehow it's connected to you, his valet. You know, it's totally different when there's eye contact, you're above him, he's looking at you, and as he's getting the reward, good, you say good and give him the treat with the eye contact. It may seem like a little thing, but it's subtle, but it's very important. In the course of a training period, and he's only been here for a couple of weeks, but even then, I've done that 100 times, and really deepens the relationship between you and the dog. He's going to take you more seriously. It's all about the little things. You saw in the mat exercise how I rewarded in a very specific way, and he had to be calm and respectful to accept that reward. So it's all about those things that matter, that make him calmer, better than he was before. It's all about the details. So we had him sit. I did a little sit-stay. We don't say stay, because stay is built in, so why say it? He knows when I say sit that he's going to wait to be released. And I can even drop the leash and walk farther away or whatever. You know, it's more comfortable for him to practice a stay and a downstay. So we'll practice a longer downstay in another part of this video. Good, that was very good. Sometimes picking the leash up from here will trigger the dog to pop up, but he's actually learned his lessons very well. Good. And then the only way that he leaves his sit stay is to be released. You pat his chest to say go, and then he's free. Or if you want to walk with him and you want him to stay on the clock in work mode, okay to walk with you. When I'm practicing the come command, I'm always doing it the same way. And it's really best if you do it the same way every time, because then you just do it like second nature. It's just like, you don't even have to think about it. So I always do left hand leash, right hand reward. If I don't have a reward, I'm still going to pretend like I have one, because later on, he's not going to know why he wants to come to this target. He just knows something good happens when he comes to it. But when I'm practicing, and it's only been 2 weeks that he's been practicing this, so I'm still using rewards. I usually phase the treats out in 3 to 5 weeks. And if you do that, and once they're good at it, you phase the treats out as soon as possible, all the training gets stronger without the food. Yeah, and every once in a while, sure, why not? Have a treat if you want to. Every once in a while, have the treat in there. Keeps him primed up, you know. But he'll come to you over and over again after 3 weeks of this, over and over again with an empty hand, just because he loves to, because of the way that you taught him. It's all about how we teach him. So when I practice calling him to come to me, I always practice calling him to me when he's looking away, when he's distracted by something. If he's not distracted by something, I'm going to create my own distraction. Hey, buddy. So I've got the rewards in the palm of my hand, but I'm also going to toss one. Hey, look at this. Go. He's over there. He's distracted. Come. And you call him back to me. Good. See what I did? I backed away, because when you back away, the dog's drawn to move quicker to you, which will happen in real life if you practice this way. He'll always run to you, and that's why we practice in that way. Even if your back is to a wall or something, you can't back away, because you practice this way hundreds of times, which you can easily do in a month. He's going to run to you every time. So it's about how you teach him that matters. We'll do it again. So here's another distraction. Go. Come. And then you can just back away wherever you want, and he'll just follow this target. Good. And if I don't have a treat, he doesn't know that I don't have a treat. So in an emergency, there's no leash and no treat. Go. Pretend like you have one. Come. I don't want those bars to get in the way. Good boy. And just love him up and, you know, pet him. It's only been a couple of weeks, and so he still would kind of feel ripped off. Come. Good. So I did a treat that time. But later on, after you've practiced a few hundred more times, it just gets better and better. But if you need him to come to you now, chances are he's going to come to you just after this short period of practice. Just keep doing it this way, and it's going to get better and better. So remember, when you're practicing, you always practice calling him away from something. Never call him to you when he's staring at you, because that's not a real life situation, of course. All he needs to do is turn and look at something, then you call him to come. Always back away, because that triggers him to rush back to you. Always use your target. His nose touches it, you say good. The left hand grabs the leash, like you see me do the last few times. And then you have him. Make sure that you grab the leash or hook your hand under his collar, whatever's more comfortable for you, because a dog could easily learn that they can run and grab the treat and then go back to whatever they were doing. So the treat is all about, you know, becoming desensitized to your your hand going underneath his collar, so he's always used to being grabbed and he doesn't get stressed and try to bite your arm, or also just the leash so that you have him and then you can step into him and take him somewhere, do whatever you needed to do with him. So that's how you practice the come command. Okay. Okay, so we're walking up, sit. I'm gonna do a greeting routine. Robert, you're gonna give him this big piece of meat, hold it like that, and just go like this and let him take it from you. And I'm gonna call him back to come to me. Okay? Go say hi. Good, yeah, you guys pet him. Yeah, look, it's the meat. That's about the meat. Show him the meat, show him the meat. There you go, look, come. Good. So he really is on edge with you, right? Sit. We're just gonna do that again. It's gonna be real quick. Go say hi. Put that treat down there. Good boy. No, just down where he can see it. Good boy. Look, look. Good boy. Yeah, good. Yeah, he doesn't care about the meat. Come. I haven't fed him yet today either. Good. He's taking a piece of the meat from me. Sit. We're doing this video for you guys so you can see how to do it. And we just keep doing that and just keep offering it to him like that. Go say hi. Good boy. Yeah, look at that. Look. Oh, good. Come. How could he possibly bite you if his mouth has a bunch of something really good? Like that's what we call a super high value reward. He can't bite you. He's busy eating a piece of steak you gave him. Sit. So we're going to do it one more time. And that's a great way to start. Hold it like that. And that's the last piece I got. Good boy. Go say hi. Go. Look at that. Yeah, look. Look. Look, treat. Yeah, there you go. Come. There you go. Good boy. All right. Good. And that's where we end it for today.